everyone. My name is Cassandra, and the library has asked me if I would put together a series of videos on how to create a junk journal. I believe the videos are going to be published about once a month, so just check out the description box below to see what the library's upload schedule is for that. So in this video, we'll go over what a junk journal is, materials that you can use in a junk journal, and things to consider when creating your junk journal. Let's get started. You may be wondering, what is a junk journal? Junk journals can be made using anything that you would like. The idea behind it is that usually it's found items and you're creating a journal that isn't neat and uniform like traditional store-bought journals. And if you go on like Etsy and just look junk journals, you'll find a lot of really great examples that show different kinds of junk journals. A lot of people will use paper packs or digital printables to create their junk journals. But what I will be doing in this video series is I will be going through the process, or at least my process, of how I create a journal using items that you would probably just put in the recycling. Before we start, we have some decisions we need to consider. First is, do you want to make a hardcover or a softcover book? And here are some examples of books that I have created that are hardcover and then like just a softcover little pamphlet book. And I will show you how to make covers for both of these types of journals, so you can kind of save that decision for last too. You need to also decide the number of signatures that you would like to have in the journal and the number of pages in each signature. A signature is a grouping of folded pages in the book. If you look at most books or journals that you have lying around the house, if they are not just glue bound, which a lot of paperbacks are, a lot of them you can see in the book these sections where it's a group of folded pages that are then sewn or glued into the spine of the book. And then for deciding the number of pages in each signature, on average a signature may have 7 or 8 pages that are folded to create the signature. The idea to go more or less is just dependent on how flat you want each signature to be, how many signatures you're doing in your book. I tend to do less signatures in my book and space them out so that way the junk journal has room to grow. You can also just do one signature and make that your book. If you do it this way, you can include more pages if you would like a thicker book but don't want the hassle of multiple signatures. Now that we have considered the number of signatures in our book that we're gonna have and how many pages per signature, I'm probably going to create a book that has 3 signatures, and I'm going to create a book that has 1 signature, just to show you the simple pamphlet book. And then I'll show you in a future video as well the different ways of binding. So to create a junk journal, we're gonna need to first gather our materials. So when I begin to create my junk journal and I need to gather materials, I like to begin by heading to my kitchen and seeing what I have that's ready to be recycled, and hopefully I haven't taken out the recycling, which I have not. All right, so we have my little full basket and a box of recycling. So food boxes are super great for creating the covers to your books. And then packing paper is excellent. Oh yeah, a little paper pad I don't want anymore. Some scraps, that'll work. Bags are great to use. some paper. Perfect. I'm just gonna I'm just gonna take that whole box upstairs. Gonna raid my junk mail. Magazine. We can use magazines. One thing you can always use is old book page. Many may think that it's a terrible idea to ever tear pages out of a book. These books that I have here were books that were going to be recycled. I pulled these from the library's recycling bin, or they were purchased at the library's used book sale and were books that were likely going to have to be recycled anyways if they didn't sell. These books, like this one, is A Treasury of Great Mysteries, and it's really badly damaged and stained and not very pretty looking, and the pages are very old, and the library wasn't going to sell this or add it to their collection. It's not in great condition, but it is perfect for creating junk journals. And so there's the kind of books you can look for, is books that are just in too poor shape to be sold. If you go to the library whenever they are able to start doing used book sales again, you can find a lot of really great finds like this. Another thing you can do, especially right now since the library isn't accepting donated books, is you can go and browse your bookshelves. And if you have books that you were wanting to get rid of, like I have these that I did not want anymore, but I can't donate them to the library because the library's closed. You can take those and you can use them to create your journal. Lastly, things that you can consider using is plain copy paper. And if you're like me and you keep everything, old homework assignments. These are from 2010 when I went through weather school. And this is perfect to use because it's just printed on and not written on. Other items that you may need during this project: scissors or a paper cutter, a ruler, any sort of tape that you may have on hand, glue. Depending on how you choose to assemble your journal, you may need some needles and some kind of thick string, or a stapler with staples. If you are planning on doing a hardcover for your journal, make sure you definitely have some sort of string to still attach the signatures in, even if you don't plan on sewing them. I'm going to show you guys multiple ways of assembling your covers together in different ways you can attach your signatures in, even if you don't want to sew them in. Now we have all of our materials gathered, so we can begin creating our journals. Though I'm not a big fan of bright white paper in my journals, so I think what we're gonna do is figure out some way that we can make these pages less bright. We can use tea and coffee to dye paper. Next video, I will show you how to use tea and coffee to dye paper. And it doesn't have to be plain paper either. So if you're interested in that, definitely be sure to check out our next video. Thanks for watching today's video. If you found this useful or you're interested in the topic and you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to receive notifications of when the library uploads videos in the future, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I will see you all next time. Bye. My laptop is running super high. It's working harder than I am.